This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal offers a home buyer's choice loan that can open the door to affordable home ownership. Because the home buyer's choice loan has no down payment options available, which means you don't have to wait years to save. Plus, you may be able to lower your rate in the future without refinancing with their no refi rate drop. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Loans subject to approval and eligibility requirements. Learn more at NavyFederal.org.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What you shoot, where we play. Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello? I mean, it's like, hello? I mean, it's like, hello?
I always love that one.
You find this funny, Mr. Groh? You're smiling. You find this humorous? No, they're not. You find this humorous, Mr. Groh? You're laughing and smiling. I'm just wondering if you do. You didn't answer my question, Mr. Groh. Do you find this humorous?
No, I find it keeping with 4 years.
At least you're not smiling and laughing now. Oh, I guess you're back at it again now.
We are gonna win this election for Paul Wellstone. We are gonna win this election for Paul Wellstone. We are gonna win this election for Paul Wellstone.
We're not going home yet, baby! You know how reporters and columnists are? They want the controversy. They want the negativity.
You guys are going to criticize whatever you want to criticize.
Get over it! We don't need you!
Timberwolves superfan KFAN Stan Barrero.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that said, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, you can't get fooled again.
I'm pulling my tickets!
So what? You know? You carry. If not, hey, I look at bad blood sometimes as motivation. So, you know, those are things that are out of my control.
Broad.
Yes. Truer words have never been spoke.
He's the clown from Brown. Yep. He's the fourth in the north.
But I'm indexing.
This is the common man, Dan Cole.
And the run begins in 5, actually 3, 5 sounds more, and 4, 2, that's all, folks. Hey, greetings, good afternoon, and ack, and dak to you and yours. Whoa. So much. You take one day off and you'd think that we've moved heaven and earth. So many things to get to today. The Thunder, they make things a lot easier on themselves after that loss in the last was under a half second. They held the lead in game 1 for, they play 48 minutes, 47 minutes, 59.7 seconds before losing. They rebound and they run the Pacers out of the gym. The Vikings, all sorts of controversial news there. They make a key signing or re-signing today. The Twins lose another starting pitcher. The Minnesota, what do we call them, the Frost? Yes. They lose a couple of key players as well. All the Lynx do is win. So much to get to. I don't know where to start. Let's spin the wheel of topic.
Wheel of topic!
Boy, I hope it lands on PWHL. We shouldn't lose key players like that in the draft.
Commons golf game.
What did you shoot today?
76.
Where'd we play?
Loggers Trail.
Where'd you hit it on one?
Right up the gut.
How far from the green were you?
8 iron in my hand.
Second shot?
Hit a terrible shot.
Then what?
Hit a brilliant wedge to 5 feet and made the putt for par.
Incredible.
I'm back. One simple lesson from Frankie Sappin, swing coach. You know Frankie Sappin III?
Yeah.
Plays.
Some call him Frankie Kappen.
Yeah, some call him Kappen, some call him Sappin. I share the same swing coach, and I thank the golf god every day. Master professional Craig Warren is a genius. I go over to Edinburgh yesterday. My game has been so bad, Tenneby. I mean, I hit ground balls now. I'm more like Joe Mauer. If I were a baseball player, I'd be Joe Mauer. I hit it between first and second base on the ground over and over and over. In my first shot, I'm hoping, this is how bad it is. As I'm going to swing an 8 iron for Craig for my first shot that he's going to watch, I'm hoping to hit it bad. Because this has happened to me before. I've been over to Brookview with him before.
Yeah.
And I'll hit every shot perfect. I go, Craig, this hasn't, well, I don't know what to tell you. I can't fix something that's not broken. But Craig, I haven't been hitting like this. So then, at that time, I said, can you be with me at Prestwick every morning at 6:06? Because just your presence.
Yes, calming.
Yeah, is a calming presence. He said, well, I can't do that. He said, I'm just leaning into the ball. I stopped leaning into the ball. I just started puring it. Yesterday, I was at River Oaks for the Phoenix Residents Charity Fundraising event, doing it closest to the pin. 151 yards into about, the wind varied. At times, it was a 2-club wind. It would go to a 1. Sometimes the wind would stop. It was very breezy, blustery yesterday. Just hitting beautiful, beautiful shot. Just the ball, the right launch angle, the trajectory, the movement of the ball. The club was my brush. The ball was my paint. The course was my canvas. And then I go to, today was 1 double and 2 bogeys and 15 pars. And I was all around the hole with the putter. I just probably wasn't hitting it close enough to the. It was one simple lesson from Craig Warren. If you play golf and you don't play golf well, you should go see an instructor. There's nothing better. What'd you shoot today?
No!
Will you tell?
You're breaking.
Will you tell Dr. Doug? I like golf. I like Midland Hills. I like private clubs. Man, you weren't slumming it today, were you, me boy?
No.
Little. I've heard the Midland Hills redesign. It's a Seth Rayner design from decades ago. Don Berry, the head golf professional at Edinburgh, USA, he's like the 15, 16, 17-time PGA Player of the Year. He's played in the PGA Championship, including at Hazeltine. Final round, he's paired with Tom Watson. I mean, how cool is that? Yeah, your final group, you're playing with Tom Watson today. Now, they were both not in contention, but still, you're playing the final round with the guy that's won 9 majors. You can't make it up. So he told me the redesign is spectacular. He told me this like 2 years ago or a year ago. He said, it's spectacular. You have to see it. Is it as good as they say it is, Tim?
I mean, I never saw it before the redesign. So I think I've played there twice now after the redesign.
Boy, that's 2 more times than I have. Boy, you must have some really good connection. Can you get me on Tepetonka?
Maybe.
You know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Yeah. So I was a little...
I don't know if you'd be like the first string to go, but maybe after the, couple times or two.
Well, tell your guy that I got a couple connections too. We can do a trade. I mean, I know a guy who knows a guy pretty much everywhere in town.
I don't think my guy needs your connections, but
well, no, but still, yeah. Well, I guess to be honest, I don't really need his either. Trust me, I'll find a way on Tepetonka eventually. But I just thought it'd be nice to spend some time. I'd find a nice little spot for him. He finds a spot for me, and we can just ease you right out of the foursome. No, I'm just kidding.
It's good to be him.
It is good.
It's good to be him.
What'd you shoot today?
Do I have to talk about it?
It's a tough course, isn't it?
It's a tough course. It's even tougher when you haven't played it a whole lot because there's just a lot of blind shots and features on greens that you wouldn't know if you hadn't played it before. That all of a sudden the ball's rolling back down the hill kind of thing.
It ain't Oakmont, but it's tough.
I could have used a caddy today.
Yeah, it ain't Oakmont, but it's tough.
It is tough. And then on top of that, I didn't play well. So when you combine all that together... and I had to play from the tips because my guy wanted to play from the tips.
How far is that?
I think it was 68.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
So you combine all that, and...
you did not have an experience that was unlike a PGA Tour player today.
Let's just say I was happy to break 100.
Yeah. Today I had an experience that was not unlike that of a PGA Tour player, which Charts would have been around. So, of course, I was playing... of course, that's not as difficult, and I certainly wasn't playing 6,800 yards. Wow. Well, but anyway, that is neither here nor there. How did the 10 of Fitzgerald go yesterday? I heard that it was partly cloudy skies, light breezes when it started, and then the clouds began to roll in about 12:15, 12:30.
I would say earlier than that. 12:04.
12:04?
Yeah.
And then the ships...
It's a challenge when you do 3 hours and you don't have Rosen.
The ships aground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle with Tennessee, do-do-do-do-do.
The lifeboats are great.
Lifeboats.
Yeah, lifeboats are great.
Who did you have yesterday?
I had Dane Moore at 1:30 talking Wolves and NBA Finals, and then Johnny Bonus was in studio the 2 o'clock hour.
What did Johnny have to say about the Zebby Matthews? Had that broke by yesterday? I don't even recall.
Yeah, I don't know if we really talked about Zebby, though.
Yeah, because that's 2 starters. And now Zebby's not like losing Lopez. I get that. But
when you're already down Lopez.
Yeah, you're down 2 starters now, and I don't think they got a whole heck of a lot of depth down there, as much as we'd like to think or we've been told. So it's basically...
I think they're at their cutoff now. So they called up Simeon Woods Richardson today, who we're familiar with, and he's fine. But I think after him now,
it's trouble.
There's nothing.
Well, then Simeon Woods Richardson, I don't even know if that's fine, because remember, he was sent down. He started as the 5th man in the rotation. He got sent down because he was not pitching very well, so we'll see.
But I'm just saying, he was okay last year.
Sure, but
he wasn't awful this year. He wasn't good, but...
No, but...
and he went to the minors, and he had 4.24 ERA in 3 starts.
That's my point. It's it's like just putting a finger in a dike. I think. I guess I'll call the Twins are in a situation where I would call that a 38 special. Hang on loosely. They got to hang on here until Pablo gets back, and I don't. The Tigers now again. Wild cards are in play, of course, but they're like right now. I mean, I think the Twins are in a wild card spot, but there's all sorts of teams with the same amount of wins or one less or one more. So. It'll be tough to get to. There's plenty to talk about, including controversial Vikings news. We'll do that on the other side of the break. We call it the Common Man program right here on the Fan.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. And this summer, you're in the driver's seat with savings. You can get a $250 bonus when you buy your next car through Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar and financed with Navy Federal. With this tool, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Navy Federal strives to support all active duty, veterans, and their families to achieve their personal and financial goals. And this partnership with TrueCar is one of the many tools Navy Federal uses to help its members. Make your plan with Navy Federal and TrueCar today. Navy Federal Credit Union, To qualify for the $250 bonus, car purchase and financing must be completed by September 2nd, 2025. Terms and conditions apply and are available at NavyFederal.org/TrueCar. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled Smart Engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
Head over to our contest page at KFAN.com and enter for your chance to win a 2-night stay at Breezy Point Resort for 4, including golf, all thanks to Custom One. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest. Enter today.
Couple 13:14 past. I'm Common. He's Tennessee. The legendary Mark Rosen will join us just about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we always look forward to that. Our Peek at the Purple is brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. If you're planning, let's say, a backyard barbecue, an evening under the stars, don't forget the most important part, safe outdoor power. Outdoor receptacles exposed to the elements can become serious hazards if they're outdated or not up to code. Call Affordable Electric, family-owned and operated, for a pro evaluation. Stay shock-free and worry-free. Affordable Electric. That's affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric is, oh boy, here we go. Ooh, I'm starting to get used to it. By AffordableElectric.com. Looking at our Peek at the Purple, Tennessee, I see the Vikings made a move today, a financial one. Adam Schefter is reporting that the Vikings signed tight end Josh Oliver to a 3-year extension for $23.25 million with a max value of $27.5, including $11.9 million in new guarantees and $19.9 million in total guarantees. This is per Andy Kessler of Athletes First. So the Vikings apparently are pleased with the performance of Josh Oliver. I would think Josh is pleased with that contract. Now it's a max value of $27.5. That won't get him to the grave, Foo, but that's still a nice a payday for what would be considered the backup tight end, right, to Hawkinson.
Yeah,
and so that's good money.
He's the blocking tight end. Let's be honest.
And so that's And he can catch occasionally. He's all right. He's a good player. So that's
does some special teams as well.
Yeah. So he serves a purpose.
He originally signed 3 years, $21 million. So it's really not too much different than the original deal, other than just extending it out even more. But
I'm sure he's delighted.
For a guy who doesn't put up the pass catching numbers, that's pretty good numbers for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's delighted with that contract. I also saw this from one of those. This was like something called Vikings with a Z fan page. And they quote at Jeremy Fowler.
Are they sponsored by Zorba's?
They might be by Zorba's, but I do know it says, according to at Jay Fowler, ESPN, that'd be Jeremy, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Says the hashtag Vikings ultimately didn't sign Aaron Rodgers because they, quote, saw this as a 3-year window right now to win a championship with a really good quarterback they like on a rookie deal. That's according to Fowler. Well, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I mean, because didn't Rodgers just sign for $13 million with Pittsburgh? Was that what he got? Or is that wrong? Am I way off on that? I thought I saw 13.
I think it's 13 guaranteed and get up to 19.
Yeah, okay. And didn't he say publicly, now maybe he was just saying that, but I thought he said he'd pay for $10 million. So if you really wanted Rodgers, I don't think it's a money thing. In other words, they're basically saying, well, they just see it's a great window. We got a quarterback on a rookie deal. Well, you would be basically getting Rodgers on not much more. What's a rookie deal?
I don't think they're looking at it from, maybe you're being thrown off by the rookie contract as if it's all money related. I think they're just saying, we have a 3-year window. We want to make sure J.J. McCarthy on that rookie contract gives us the best chance ever to win over 3 years, whereas Aaron Rodgers, even if he comes in for a year, he's probably not going to last 2 years, probably not going to last 3 years, and really kind of throws off the development of potentially of your other quarterback for years 2 and years 3.
Well, if that's what their thinking is, I think it's preposterous. I mean, that makes no sense to me. That may have been the logic, but it makes no sense to me. If you think you have a window and you're talking about a rookie unproven quarterback and a future Hall of Famer, 4-time MVP, I'd take the chance on the 4-time MVP for $19 million and see how it goes. Because guess what? If it doesn't go, you still got 3 years on his 5-year rookie deal. So you still got plenty of time. So to me, it's and again, it might be, Rodgers could be done. He plays for Pittsburgh. He's not any good. And J.J. McCarthy might be, the best young quarterback. He might be brilliant right away. But it sounds to me like, I don't know. You could have got Rodgers cheap, and I would have gone that route and just see how it goes. That's what I would do. But they decided not to do that, so good for them. Peek at the Purple brought to you by Affordable Electric, affordable-electric.com. I'll go there for all of your electrical needs. Here's somebody that said, now, I don't know, this is controversial.
That's interesting.
Oliver had many great catches. We need to move on from TJ. I don't know if we want to move away from Hawkinson or not.
I mean, if you want to argue for what he's getting paid,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Well, you got to have more than one.
TJ Hawkinson's going to be a more productive tight end when healthy than Josh Oliver.
Yeah, I would think so. That would be my guess. But yeah, we'll see. We're full steam ahead with
especially on a team that, let's face it, after Justin Jefferson, we still don't really know what we have from a depth standpoint at wide receiver. So it's nice to have a tight end who can catch a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
Josh Oliver's career highs are 22 catches, 258 yards, which was last year.
Now, wonder. I'm not saying replace Hawkinson. I'm just thinking out loud about Oliver. Do you think if he was given more opportunity, he could improve? Because, if you're only thrown to X amount of times, how many targets is that for Josh Oliver?
He had 28 targets last year.
22 catches on 28 targets. That's pretty good. Now, again, is it because he's wide open because nobody expects him to have the ball tossed to him? That's pretty good. Put it this way, I think he's a quality backup tight end. Sounds like he sounds like he's a sure hand. He sounds like a lot like me. A precise route running, sure-handed pass-catching tight end who can block a little bit as well. Well, I know he's a blocker is his main role, but it sounds like he can receive a little bit. So good for him. It can't hurt. I don't know. Was there anything else Viking related? I thought there was another nugget that I'm missing somewhere that I
also
saw.
saw this morning, tight end related.
Okay.
They signed something called Giovanni Ricci, 6'3", 240-pound tight end out of Western Michigan. He's played in the league for 4 years. Okay. Entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent with the Carolina Panthers following the 2020 NFL Draft. He's appeared in 36 games, including 4 starts, recorded 9 receptions for 102 yards in 3 seasons. After 4 years in Carolina, he spent time with the Cleveland Browns during the 2024 offseason, was most recently with the New England Patriots from February to April of 2025.
Okay.
They released outside linebacker Matt Harmon. But Ricci will just be on the he'll be on the roster for training camp, and then he'll be let go.
Unless, what if he's a diamond in the rough? What if all of a sudden he gets a little bit of action and he becomes a precise route running, sure-handed pass catching tight end that can block a little?
I'd sign him to a 3-year, $24 million contract.
Exactly
That's what I would do.
That's exactly what I do as well. Let's take a break. I do have a couple of other NFL notes I stumbled into that I think raise some interesting issues. We'll do that and much more. Don't forget Rosie at 2. This is the Common Man program here on The Fan.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. And this summer, you're in the driver's seat with savings. You can get a $250 bonus when you buy your next car through Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar and financed with Navy Federal. With this tool, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Navy Federal strives to support all active duty, veterans, and their families to achieve their personal and financial goals. And this partnership with TrueCar is one of the many tools Navy Federal uses to help its members. Make your plan with Navy Federal and TrueCar today. Navy Federal Credit Union. To qualify for the $250 bonus, car purchase and financing must be completed by September 2nd, 2025. Terms and conditions apply and are available at NavyFederal.org/TrueCar. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled Smart Engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, and as an actor, I'm an expert in looking like I know what I'm doing, even when I don't. And I like the sound of starting my own business, Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. But I'm an actor. I don't know what I'm doing. I needed help. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. I didn't even realize I needed a social media calendar. GoDaddy Aero will take your idea that sounds good and make a business that looks like you know what you're doing. GoDaddy Aero can get your business up and running in minutes. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a plan. Get started at GoDaddy.com/Airo. That's GoDaddy.com/AIRO.
Metallica, Joe Bonamassa.
The Lynx look to continue their run to repeat as Commissioner Cup champions this Wednesday at 9 p.m. as they take on the Seattle Storm. Listen right here on KFAN and hear every game this season on the Timberwolves Lynx channel on the free iHeartRadio app, thanks to RBC Wealth Management.
Did I see they're 10-0? They won again. They're still undefeated, right?
I thought they were 9-0.
Is it 9-0?
I'll look to make sure.
I do know.
Make sure I didn't miss one.
I also saw where, like, they're approaching.
They're 9-0.
9-0. This is the first time they've had a season in which, obviously, you win 4 championships. You've had a lot of great starts to seasons. But this is approaching the very. Did I see? And again, maybe Abbott's going to be annoyed because I don't remember. I skimmed the sports page because I'm busy. I shouldn't admit that working at the All Sports radio station. Is their best start ever like 11-0 or 10? They're approaching the best start ever.
I know I read that they matched the 2017 team for the third longest at 9-0. The 2012 team was 10-0, so they can match that Wednesday. But I did not hear the longest.
Then I think maybe 11. But anyways, it looks like we're well on our way to that. We have the best player. I scoffed at Rosen. I thought he stole the take from Lieber when he said, "Is it Phee?"
M-V-Phee.
Is that what we call it? We just call her Phee, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a nickname. Phee was going to be the the front runner for, and it's like, Rosie, we're 4 games into the season. How can anybody be the front runner for the M-V-Phee? But apparently she is because your mama can't stop her, your daddy can't stop her, the police can't stop her, and certainly the opposition can't stop her.
He just brought it up because we had talked about it in 5 questions.
Maybe this is the Vikings know what I saw, and there's really nothing to it. It's just rumor and innuendo. Jimmy Suhan wrote about it today, esteemed columnist, Fish Wrap Factory West Side. Maybe it was last night, and I just saw it for the first time this morning. I saw it somewhere else, too. Jaire Alexander released by the Green Bay Packers, right? Former All-Pro and Pro Bowl defensive back. That his biggest issue is he can't stay healthy. I think I saw he's in the last few years of the 34 games he's been available for, he's played only like half of them. He can't stay on the field, and we all know that if you can't stay on the field, you're really not worth a lot to the football team. So now he's become a free agent. And there are those, Suhan was one of them. I saw it somewhere else as well. Maybe the Vikings ought to take a look at this guy. And I certainly think it's worth a look, Tenneby. I think I'm going by on paper and going off the last year's results. And again, the big question mark is the quarterback position. We get that because we have basically a rookie. I know he's not a first-year player anymore, but he has not played a regular season snap in the NFL. But I think defensively, the one question people have, if we believe the 2 interior defensive linemen who have nice resumes and good reputations, if we believe they can play like they're capable of, maybe the only real question mark might be in the secondary. And if Alexander can stay healthy, he's one of the better quarterbacks, right? He's got to be top 10, top 15 CB in the league.
He's had some success against our guy.
Yeah.
He's JJ.
He is indeed. So,
but he's got a little baggage on the side.
Yeah.
He plays half the games.
Right. That's the problem. It's the injury thing. And so
the most important ability is availability.
Yeah.
Or durability.
So if you I don't know what he would ask for money. I don't know what he's worth. I don't know if there'll be a bidding war. My guess is he'll play this year somewhere, and he'll probably be signed sometime, I would think, soon because of his reputation, because of his talent. I wouldn't be opposed. The Vikings have money, I think. You can wriggle or wiggle around any salary machinations that you have to. You don't like using a roster spot if a guy can't stay healthy, but, then a guy would have something to prove. I seem to get the impression, and maybe I shouldn't put words into Badger Bob's mouth, my old pal Badger Bob, but they were really fan-based team down on him, almost like it was one of those things where, well, I might be ready this week, I'm really not sure, and then he wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And so how much, I don't know if he was disinterested in playing for Green Bay anymore, if it was just a minor injury or nagging injuries or whatever it is, he would certainly be playing for his next contract, right? If he signed a 1-year deal with somebody right now. So I'd
sign him.
Yeah, I would too. I would take that because he doesn't seem to be a troublemaker. So I would go ahead and do that because that is the one spot where we could probably, notice I say we, if we're 3-6 after 9 weeks, it's they. I'll go to they real quick. I'm a bandwagon guy extraordinaire. And so, that would be,
it's hard to find cornerbacks that talented available on June 10th.
Yeah, well, that's for
right.
Sure.
And even, Jalen Ramsey's been the other name thrown out because he's having some issues with Miami. But Jalen's 2 years older, and you've got to trade for him. So you have to give up something to get him, which I said yesterday in the 10 to Fitzgerald. Given how many draft picks Kwesi has given away in the last 2 years, I don't think we can just afford to keep just giving away draft picks to acquire players and bring them in. So, to me, this is best case scenario. Yeah, there's risk there because he's got the injury history and maybe he's got a little play when I want to play to him. But the reward to that risk is really good. And I'm sure, as you mentioned, when you look at the weaknesses on the team, clearly we don't know what we're going to get out of the quarterback position. So that's just a TBD. That's a Tibida.
Yep.
After that, cornerback's the only position where you're like, man, there's a weakness there. We could fill that hole. Everything else is kind of appears to be locked in place. So, like I said, you usually don't have cornerbacks this good available on June 10th. I would be aggressive, and the Vikings have money to do so.
Someone says he is a troublemaker. Comment. Is he a troublemaker?
I was going to say, you said he wasn't really a troublemaker. I don't know what level of severity the troublemaking is. Blakemore brought up yesterday on the 10 of Fitzgerald, the incident he had where he was playing at his hometown. I don't know if that was Carolina where he's from, and just decided to walk out for the coin flip.
Oh, right. Yes.
Even though he was not a captain, and then he called the coin flip, and the referees almost he almost got in a bad spot because he said they wanted to kick as opposed to saying we want to defer. But he ended up getting suspended by the team for a game because he just opted to walk out there without any coach approval.
I just Googled Troublemaker. It's a song by Ollie Murs, and then there was also a picture of Jaire Alexander. So he is the definition of a troublemaker, according to when you IHOP his name. So, yeah, there was a picture of him there. So what is being a troublemaker? A person who causes trouble, a person who creates problems or difficulties involving other people. Well, I guess you could call me a troublemaker.
You're a troublemaker.
Too. Yeah,
I
guess you could call me a troublemaker.
You're more of a gadfly.
Yeah, I don't really think I create problems. Here's what I will do, and I know you're not going to agree with this, and you're going to roll your eyes, shrug your shoulders. What I do is when I see issues, I'm not afraid, especially when I see things that are being done wrong around here or anywhere, I just speak up and say something. Most people will just go, well, I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to fall in line. I'm just going to go with the flow. I've never gone with the flow. It's gotten me fired from jobs before, and that's fine with me. If I see something that I think is unjust or is wrong, I used to be called a morale drain around here. And you know why I was a morale drain? I would tell other employees who they were taking advantage of, I'd be saying, you're getting taken advantage of right now. And then they would become sullen, withdrawn, and then the coroner's offices would approach me and say, why are you draining his morale? I go, I'm not draining his. You're the one that's draining his morale. I'm just bringing it to his attention. I don't like to see him being taken advantage of. Now, you could say it's none of my business, and I guess it's not. But I dare to be a Daniel. I dare to stand alone. I dare to have a purpose firm, and I dare to make it known. So if I see somebody that's being taken advantage of, I will, because sometimes they don't know. They're too naive. They just don't know they're being taken advantage of. There was a guy.
You're just someone who believes in fairness and justice.
Liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
My country, 'tis of thee. I think I told you this story before. When I accepted a job in Kemmer, Wyoming, this was my last stop. When I left town, I said, if I'm fired from I've been fired from 3 of my first 4 radio jobs. I took a job in Kemmer, Wyoming, southwest corners. I was going to be a midday disc jockey. And I said as I was leaving town, if I'm fired from this job, I'm done. But it ended up working out in my favor. But I got there. The guy I was replacing was still there. He was being fired, but they were letting him work. And I said, well, what's your situation? And I said, he said, well, I'm going to let go, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, what are your prospects and stuff? And I ended up getting out of him that they told him that they would give him, if he resigned, rather than being fired, they would give him a letter of recommendation. If not, they wouldn't. Because they were trying to save. I think this is still the way it works. All companies in the country pay into the unemployment tax, right? The unemployment fund. But the more people you fire, the more you have to pay. So you don't want to be firing people because when you do, you have to pay more money into that to pay for your fair share. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I understood it. So the company that I was going to work for was, and so I said, well, what did you do? He said, well, I want that letter of recommendation. I go, dude, when you walk out this door, if you don't find a job, you've got no source of income whatsoever. Yeah, I guess I really didn't think about that. I go, you tell them, no, you either fire me. I'm not leaving on my own volition. What would you do if they told you, Tennessee, we're going to let you go, but we want you to resign? Because if you resign, you can't collect unemployment. You go to the unemployment and tell them you resign. Well, you can't get a job. They just tell you, well, why did you quit a job? You can't quit your job. So what you do is you tell them, no, you're going to have to fire me, and you can take your little letter of recommendation and you know what you can do with it. Wouldn't you rather collect unemployment than have a letter of recommendation from somebody who just fired you?
That thing's going to be meaningless anyways.
Well, exactly. Nobody.
They're going to ask you, why'd you get fired?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was terrible at my job.
Yeah. Well, what you're saying, I resigned. Well, why did you resign from your job? Well, I guess I really didn't. They forced me to. They said I couldn't, Well, what does Chad Abbott? What does he wants me to send a letter? Do you want me to resign or?
No, I was just listening.
Am I right?
Well, you're right. You know what you're right with? Like, if you see something that's bothering you, you should just say something.
Yes.
Right? Rather than let it build up.
That's exactly right.
So that's why I'm here. It's starting to I don't feel like you're prepared for your show very much.
I always love that one.
And I've let it go probably a little bit too long.
For about 13, 14 years?
Yeah. So I'd kind of like it if you'd prepare for your show moving forward.
Indexing pretty well. I was preparing actually today.
That's all. No, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just here to talk to Santa about things.
Okay.
Good is the enemy of great, by the way.
God, you're smart.
I'm so tired of that. Where did that silly cliche come from?
I mean, you can be good or you can be great. It's up to you.
The best of the lousiest of the best. That's what the common man is. Why I don't need to strive for any more or any less. I thought we had some good conversation here that came to a screeching halt with you. See, again.
Say what you feel. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
One of our bosses said one time, radical candor.
Yeah, I remember. I still have all four of them written down. I still don't even know what that was about. Did you understand any of that?
Yeah, it's like if you got a problem with somebody in the office or you got a problem with one of the procedures we're doing, radical candor, just speak out. Let us know it.
How about ruinous empathy?
What's that mean?
Well, that was another one on the list. Manipulative insincerity.
That's you.
And obnoxious aggression.
For sure you.
Coming. You act like those are bad things.
I said they're for sure you. I got to go. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Speaking of manipulative
I didn't know you were in the middle of your show.
Your manipulative insincerity. You try to manipulate people and you're just very insincere.
You talking to me or Ted? Who are you talking to?
I'm talking about you.
What did you say I do?
Manipulative insincerity. You manipulate people to try to get them. You're like Geppetto. Trying to get people, yes, sir, 3 bags full, sir. And you'll do it under the guise of, well, it'll be better for you. And it's really not. No, it's just better for you and the company. That's what it's
I think it'd be better for you if you went back to hosting Vikings Family.
Remember when Mick, he's at that, look, he's standing up there at that meeting, he goes, so this is what I want you to do. Keep your head up and your chin down. So I started putting my head and my chin down. And then I started, he just wants me to nod up and down and agree with everything he said. If you put your chin up and your head down, that's what you're doing. is just agreeing with whatever they have to say.
How long have you been in this business?
Since 1981.
Let me ask you something as I go. Potato like that house?
She does.
Okay, that's all I had.
I'm not retiring. That's for sure. You, Tenna, and Rose have been taking advantage of us listeners for years. Without watchdogs like caller Betty, Sid Hartman, who's going to keep us informed. Well, Sid's gone, and so is Betty. They both passed away. So I don't know what to tell you on that. I think we're doing the...
He's right on the Rosen part, though.
Yes. Here's one. Morale drain, also known as an energy vamp or energy vampire in the corporate world. Toxic.
Energy vampire.
Energy vampire. I like the sound of that. I'd not heard that one before. Energy vampire. I have caused, if you want to call it causing trouble and stirring the pot, but you've got to believe me when I do it. I do it for the good of, I try to do it for the, I'm more of a worker ant guy. I didn't even like being a program director, even though I was really, really good at it. I didn't like being the boss. I told you the story when I had to fire one of my disc jockeys for the first time ever. I became a program director in the aforementioned town of Kemmer, Wyoming. We had to let a couple of guys go, and the general manager, the late Jimmy Ray Carroll, the guy who tutored me, who took me under his wing and let me make mistakes and learn the business the right way. And finally, we had to get rid of John. And he said, you're going to have to do it. I said, I can't. He go, that's your job. You have to. So, and the difficult part was I was going to let him go like on a Thursday. I was renting a house in town, and all the new disc jockeys that would come to town would rent one of the rooms. So it was the disc jockey place. This guy's living with me. We're sitting there watching TV, having a beer, laughing, and I'm like, I'm letting him go tomorrow morning. You know how hard that was to?
Sure.
I should have just probably let him go that night. Should have said, by the way, before we get too drunk here, I got to let you go. And so I didn't like that part of the job at all, not in any way, shape, or form. And he probably...
I wouldn't enjoy that.
Yeah, and he probably did need... I didn't think he was doing that bad of a job. It's a small... It's a little tiny town. It's not like it's major market radio for crying out loud. But, so yeah, bring me your tired, your... What's that thing about the Statue of Liberty? Bring me your...
Huddled masses, yearning...
Yeah, the old huddled masses thing. Just bring them all to me, and I'll take care of them. Oh, I like this. Here's one right here. Common, I'm not sure Abbott understands the thesis of the Grum. He's not one of us. Chad Common does inverse preparation for the Grum. By not preparing, he's actually preparing for the show. Common actually knows sports and speaking logically about it with no esoteric approach would have that index down to 0. That's exactly what it is. Here's another one. I think Chad is the drain and ought to be let go. What has he done for the fan? That's what I'd like to know.
Wow.
Well, what has he done? Can you think of anything other than create issues for guys like me and you?
Isn't he like National Program Director of the Year in the company?
It says a lot about the state of program directing in this country, I think. And I like Chad. I don't like the fact that he uses a Zebco 404 rather than a 202. He likes a Mercury rather than an Evinrude. He's a 20 gauge and I'm a 12 gauge, and he's a Pheasants Forever guy and I'm Ducks Unlimited.
And you don't like that he's manipulative and insincere?
Yes.
And obnoxious aggressive or something like that?
Manipulative insincerity.
Yeah.
Manipulative insincerity. I was having a great time until Abbott popped in. Deadbolt the door next time, Common. That's on you. I hadn't thought about that. Could have deadbolted the door. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. Yeah, apparently a lot of there are. Here's what a Packer fan wrote in. It says. Packer fan here. I believe there were reports he was cleared to play for a few games and said he couldn't go. Not worth the headache for a player who can't stay on the field, Rob from Badness Heights. And I think that's what Badger Bob was telling me when I talked about Alexander, was that cleared to go, and then he would, he was cleared to play, and then he would say, just not feeling up to it. And, you know, what you don't know is, could he really not go? Was he making it up as he goes along? I don't know. I mean, cleared to go. What is cleared to go? What does that mean? You pass every, what do they make you?
Trainers.
Do you make you do jumping jacks? Do a few burpees, some calisthenics to decide if you're ready to go or not. You know, and again, I'm. He might very well be a troublemaker. He might very well not be worth the effort, the money, the time, the roster spot. But I wouldn't.
Here's the deal, though. He hasn't gone to a culture like the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, there's that. There is that. I mean,
you're not going to misbehave in our culture.
There is that. So, so Deuce calls me. And, he doesn't call me often unless he needs money, right? So he calls me. You know what he told me? Did you see this story? Because I didn't see it. Dan Campbell wants, during game day, he wants a live lion on the field.
You've got to be kidding me.
Like some of these college football programs will have whatever their mascot is, they have a live one on the field, right?
This has got to be like a fake news story. This could not be real.
Well, and because apparently what Deuce could be getting me going, or maybe he got bamboozled because I did not see the story. So the owner, Sheila Hemp Ford, whatever, I think that's her name, she okayed it, but the National Football League did not. They don't want a lion on the side.
As there should not be a lion.
I agree with you. It's like, you don't want to put a grizzly bear on the field for the Bears, but that's what Deuce called me to say. That's what Danny Campbell. I would think Dan might worry more about his offensive line and maybe his new coordinators to make sure they're up to snuff. Because I'm not sure
Sounds like it's a legit story, but it's from over 2 years ago.
Oh, well then why is Deuce bringing this up to me? Well, Deuce is like father, like son. Old news, right? That's kind of what I do. Abbott killed the vibe. That's what he just said. He's about as charismatic as Fallness. Wow. What cultures tend to be talking about? The losing culture, the choking culture. Well, that was the old Viking. Oh, wait. Maybe that's this Viking team, too. I don't know. Sure, those last two games of the season last year certainly left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. You lose to the Lions decisively, and a lot of that was on Sam. I think he just, he double clutched a couple of times. I think it's like when I was up at Brainerd for Show and Go, and I blew the clutch out of the Boss 302 Mustang. I think that's exactly what Darnold did last year. Is he blew the clutch. But that Rams game was that was on the offensive line. So there we go. We'll break. We will come back. 5:34, top of the hour. Tanner, what you got for us?
Yeah, what did the Twins need to do before the deadline?
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal offers a home buyer's choice loan that can open the door to affordable home ownership. Because the home buyer's choice loan has no down payment options available, which means you don't have to wait years to save. Plus, you may be able to lower your rate in the future without refinancing with their no refi rate drop. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Loans subject to approval and eligibility requirements. Learn more at NavyFederal.org.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit, so you can push your gameplay beyond performance with Intel Core Ultra processors. For the next era of gaming, upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E and maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search. Power up at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.